Former Royal Marine Andy Lane lives in France and is a hardened francophile. So far, he has taken part in 3 Jester Challenges, each one in a different boat. All were bought for less than €5,000 before being painstakingly prepared. I first caught up with him in 2010 as he readied Amadeus to take part in the Jester Challenge.
Name, rank and serial number.
Yeah, Andy Lane, skipper of Amadeus, which is a 6 metre 50 mini transat Coco, which is the original, the mini transat's 1985. And this boat did take part in the first 2 or 3 and then ended up in La Rochelle and Rochefort. And I bought that 2 or 3 years ago for this particular race.
Which route are you going, Andy?
That's a secret.
Oh.
Yeah. But in fact, I'll probably do a great circle route to 40 north, 50 west, and then straight in westerly from there. That takes me more or less south of the worst of the icebergs, but straight into the depression. So it's 6 of one, half done with the other. You know, you just don't know until you get there.
Well, good luck with it. So,
well, thanks, Jake.
How long do you think it'll take?
Between 35 and 45, I think.
Wow.
But if I can do quicker, I'll be well pleased. But, you know, how long's a bit of string? Until you get there, you just don't know. 15th of June, disaster has struck. I've lost the mast. We set out from Plymouth and I had a fantastic crossing a little bit north of the Great Circle route. 3 gales, and then 24 days out in another gale we fell very, very hard from the top of a wave which must have broken. On arriving in the trough there was a tremendous crash. Immediately I knew there was a problem. The top half of the mast came through the deckhead, and then on the 3rd wave the whole mast came completely down and crashed onto the starboard side of the boat. So I immediately put my Musto survival suit on and tried to work out how to save at least the bottom half of the mast. In the end I just had to get the bolt crops out and cut the 13 wires that held the mast up. Fortunately that worked, and finally this dangerous object was away from the boat. And horror of horror, when I went down below, the water was up to bunk level, and in fact I discovered it welling out from under the starboard bunk, which had a hole about 10 centimetres long underneath the bunk itself. So with a piece of plywood, a sleeping bag, various bits of wood, I tried to jam this all to reduce the ingress of water. I realised actually I was losing the battle. So I then had to make the really difficult decision to send out for help. So I activated the McMurdo PLB and the spot help function. And of course I didn't know whether these were working or not, but I activated them anyway, and then just got into survival mode. I did all the things necessary to prepare me for perhaps a very long stay. I deployed the sea brake sea drogue, which actually calmed the boat considerably, although without the mast or the sails we had a very unpleasant movement. And then down below I filled up the pressure cooker with all the best food I had and made a fantastic meal, knowing that this might have to last me several days, and I did that while the gas was above water level. I tried to have a couple of sleeps to conserve the energy. I even took the precaution of going to the toilet properly, which involved unzipping the immersion suit and squatting on the bucket in the cockpit, knowing that it would be easier now while the boat was floating, rather than perhaps just sitting on the top of the deck, or even worse, in the life raft. Pure sort of animal survival. Not even fear, I don't think. And it was just going through the priorities necessary to survive. Fortunately, the message was received.
Roger, I'll have position for you in a moment. Stand by one. Ready to copy?
Go ahead.
7 hours later, motor vessel Courage appeared over the horizon. She failed to see me because the hull was white with two pale blue stripes, the deck was grey, and as it turned out, the ideal camouflage. And she was very, very close to me before I actually had to let off a flare to identify myself, although she knew where to look for me. I could see them with the binoculars up on the bridge, but they really couldn't see me. Anyway, I was rescued. As a point of interest, Amadeus went down 52 miles north of where the Titanic went down.
Calms are so frustrating. With the swell, the sails flap terribly, so in the end, if there's really no chance of wind, I just get them down to avoid too much damage. But what's really odd is the boat sort of gets up into a metronomic roll, which gets worse and worse and worse. I mean, it gets quite ridiculous. I don't know what the angle it is, but it must be sort of 20 degrees each side. And so I tried putting the sea anchor out, the sea brake off to one side, which actually does dampen the rolling movement. So to be used only when stationary like this. My swimming pool is 4 kilometres deep and pretty chilly actually.
The Jester Challenge to Newport, it's a heck of a long way, and you need to be absolutely sure you can get there and back in time, or have the means of leaving the boat there and taking a breather. Now getting ready, I'm on board. It's November 2014, and getting everything ready for Baltimore next year, and hopefully a good summer's worth of cruising.